Welcome back, everybody. Again, a reminder of our television coverage. This is for the Class A consolation games from Minot. Start at 1. You can stream them on WDAY+. And then the semifinals tonight. We hit the air at 6:30 on WDAY, followed by 8:15 for semifinal number 2, which we're going to chat about here in just a moment with Devils Lake and Thompson. That's a live look at a quiet Minot State Dome. I remember being there doing this show. I thought usually I was the only one there for a little while. But thankfully, there's a live look. It'll be rocking later tonight, certainly for the second semifinal with Devils Lake faces Thompson. It's great to have Devils Lake girls basketball coach Justin Klein back with us. So when I was texting him earlier this week, this is such a perfect North Dakota move. You were driving the bus, correct, on the way to Minot?
Yeah, I was. That's why. Oops. That's why we had to go Friday last year too. I think you wanted it on
That's
Thursday,
right.
and I said no. I'm driving the bus at that time.
I should know better. Congrats on the win last night. Tell me about how your team played and knock it off Trinity last night.
I thought we came out pretty strong. We jumped on them and got a good lead. But then we kind of hit a lull there in the second quarter. We couldn't score. I think we went 2 for 20. We turned them over and got some good shots and couldn't finish at the rim and let them back in it. And they hit some shots. They hit some big threes really to close the lead at halftime. And then a little slow start to the third quarter, but then we kind of finished them off at the end. But they played a heck of a game and shot really well.
To have as much muscle memory as you have back, how much you rely on that for this event? Knowing you've had players be out there in that scenario, how much do you bank on that for this weekend?
Well, I think it's huge. I think it's probably a bigger deal leading up to this tournament, and all the preparation and things that go on. You have to remember you're playing 3 days in a row,
Yeah.
and you might see an opponent who you haven't played. In like a Trinity here, we had them the first round, so we can prepare a little bit more for them. But the kids kind of know now and have a routine on what we're doing. I think though playing at the Dome, like it wasn't our first time there, so that helps too. The big thing though is shooting, getting shots to fall. There's some certain kids that can hit shots in that wide open court, big court. Others can't. The size of the court too sometimes is a big deal, but I think for the most part, our kids feel pretty comfortable, and that is a big deal when you get to the state tournament.
All right, so it's Thompson again. There's no secrets between you two. What is a matchup like this of facing a Jason Bren kind of team? What do you know you're getting yourself into tonight?
Well, last year we lost to them 3 times, twice in the regular season, once in the region championship game. This year, now we beat them twice during the regular season. Now we're going to play them at state. So yeah, again, it's you know what you're going to get. They've got good guard play. They don't have a lot of post presence, which is a good thing for us. So I feel we match up pretty well against them. And hopefully our pressure has given them trouble the other 2 times we played them. So hopefully we can create some turnovers. They're well disciplined. They can shoot the ball. I thought last night they really played hard. They really got after it, and so it's set to be a good matchup.
They got Addie Sage on their team. We've had Addie on the show, and she was invited to the USA Championships this summer. Justin, what kind of player is she? How does she differentiate herself from the rest of the players on the floor, in your opinion?
Well, I think she's so strong. She's good with the ball in her hands, dribbling, but she's so strong passing and shooting. I've said to my assistants, at times you look at her like she's a college player, because she's physically strong. She's very smooth with the ball. She can stop and pop from anywhere. She's got a nice little floater when she gets to the lane. She knows not to go up against somebody 6'2". So she's very consistent, very smart, but a very strong guard. And I think that's what puts her above everybody else.
To have the sweep you guys had last year, and I know we talked about this, just the inherent pressure of doing it again. The boys and girls both won. You're both really good again. What is that? Now it's March. Have you felt that this year? Or that's inherent because it's Devils Lake and everybody expects you guys to be good in basketball?
No, there's pressure. I mean, the thing is too, when you have a good team or success or you're undefeated, everybody brings their best against you. Sometimes they get things to go their way and you don't. You're not. And then sometimes it's hard to get better.
Mm.
Because you're at the top and you're playing well. You think you are, but other teams are getting better and then you're not. So that is a big deal. And we did lose a few games this year and did not play very well and had some stretches. So sometimes that can help, but you never want to lose games either to make you better. But yeah, there's some pressure. I think though last night again showed that Trinity played with us, for a while and we're in the game and that we can't just show up or roll the ball out there and play.
You also, I know you scheduled difficult. You did that. How much did that help you to get ready for this weekend, in your opinion?
Oh, it was huge. I told my AD, when we earned this one seed, I guess you want to say, I told my AD, I said, thanks for the schedule. He looked at me and I said, no, I mean that. Yeah. I mean, we played Red River. We played Grand Forks Central. We had Watford City come to our place. We played Kindred, and then Turtle Mountain twice, Valley twice, Rugby, Central Cass, Wapaton, and then our own region team. So, you look at most of those teams are in this state tournament. Most of those were all top tier B teams when they were in the
Yeah.
B division. So that did a lot for us. And I think we're going to continue to do that. It just depends on where we're at and what teams are in our region too.
This might be a Captain Obvious question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because now we're on the back end of year 2 of the 3-class system. Obviously, your team has had great success, but take a step back. How would you give an overview of how 3 classes worked, in your opinion?
I think my first answer to that is obviously it helped us, right?
Yep.
Okay, you can say that, but I think overall, I think it really helped the Class B teams and the smaller schools. I came from a small school, Wishick, and those teams. I mean, they're competing. You look at the region you look at the Class B region. Now you look at the Class B state, and some of those teams and schools in there. They might not have got there if some of these other teams were in there, or
Yeah.
they had a chance to get there, which they didn't before. So I think that class benefited the most. And I also think in AA, they benefited because now some of those teams like a Horace, for example, and Brent Hintz, they went down to Minneapolis where they got to go play somebody, above and beyond and challenge themselves. So I think overall as a whole, it got better. I really think in the girls side, our division is very, very competitive. And I said that last night too to a reporter that the players are very comparable. The teams are very comparable. And I think other teams in our division are getting better too.
Boy, the 4 semifinalists left, though. They're all back from last year. There has to be something to that as well, right? That experience of going out there, and the 4 semifinalists are all the same from last year.
Yeah, I know. And I looked at that too, and some of that too can be the classes, you get a good group of, I have 6 seniors, so that's a big deal. But some of it is programs too, and coaches that have been there, you take a Carrington or a Rugby, they've had longevity
Yep.
there with their coaches, and good programs. And that helps, and sometimes in today's age, there's a lot of turnover. And sometimes we're battling numbers too. We don't get a lot of kids out. There's a lot of different activities going on, so a lot of different factors. But and you're right. Now it is the same 4 teams.
Bren told me last night, I don't care when, I just want to be playing at night. But you got the last game. So how do you got to keep them entertained now between now and 8:15? So what's the schedule for the rest of the day?
Well, originally when we talked about the schedule on Sunday night with the girls, I said, "Hey, I have an idea. How about if we win on Thursday, we'll get on the bus and go home." And I said, "We'll stay in our own rooms, our own house, and then we'll go practice on the Sports Center court. Then we'll come back." And they looked at me and said, "No, no, no, no." I said, "Well," so then my comment was, "What are we going to do all day?" So they're like, "Oh, we can go to the mall. We can do it." Anyways, we're gonna go practice here at our Redeemers.
Okay.
Watch film, and then we're gonna go have lunch, and then we're gonna go to the mall and burn some time there. Come back to the hotel. Yeah, that is an issue. 8:15. It makes for a long day,
No doubt.
and you're gonna get back late. So, but it is what it is.
Hey, Minot loves it because every basketball team gets to that mall one way or the other. It
Yeah.
never fails, right?
Yep, they do.
Give me a couple keys for the matchup tonight of how you guys can win this one. What do you think, in your opinion?
Well, again, we got to create turnovers. We got to create turnovers up front, and hopefully those turn into layups and high percentage shots. We can't settle for the three. That's one area we've struggled in is the 3-point shot, and I think we got to know where Sage and Hurst are, and they start their offense, and they pretty much run the show there. So those are two players we have to know where they're at all times. Like I said before, they'll stop and hit from anywhere, and once they hit one or two and they get going, then it's hard to stop them.
Last thing, most important question. Since you drive the bus, are you in charge of the music? Do you have that? Do you have any control or no?
Nah, not too much. Most of the kids have headphones or iPods or earbuds in it. We don't have to worry about that. I just drive the bus. I make sure we get to where we have to be.
It's great to see you, bud. Thanks so much for the time. Congrats on the win last night, and good luck tonight, okay?
Yep. Thank you very much.
Good to see you, bud. There he goes, Justin Klein, Devils Lake girls basketball head coach, joining us. That is the primetime matchup tonight. 8:15 for that one between Devils Lake and Thompson. The winner of that moves on to the state championship game, which, of course, we played on Saturday. That's the early game at 5. South Prairie Max in Valley City gets us started, and that is a pretty juicy one as well. If you have not seen South Prairie play, they have 2 studs that are getting Division I interest already, and I believe both of them are sophomores, I want to say. Scotty Beck and Riley Routledge are both really, really good players. If you're watching tonight, and I encourage you to do that, among the myriad of things you can watch, make sure you check that out. And that second game tonight goes without saying. Devils Lake Thompson is going to be a dynamite basketball game to wrap up the day. The girls B goes in the afternoon, and we'll give you the lowdown on that coming up before we wrap up the show. And then the girls A goes in prime time tonight. We'll take our final break of the first hour, come back, wrap things up. John Hammerman will join us from St. Paul, Spuds hockey coach, as they get ready for their semifinal game with Edina. Back on Hot Mic right after this.